Hello, David Taub here, and we're getting a lot of requests to do some progressions and to learn a little bit about putting some progressions together in different genres of music, and then we're going to use these progressions as basis for some soloing and lead techniques and arpeggio playing, and I'll even get some, we're going to get some jam tracks up on the site, and you'll be able to download the jam track, which will be basically the progression that we're going to be playing over, and they'll be labeled. This will be Jazz Progression 1, D major, and you'll go there, go to the download Jazz Progression 1, and then that's a great way to practice your lead playing. And if you're more of a rhythm guy or girl, you can practice. This is a rhythm exercise, right? Okay, so we're going to do probably one of the most common progressions in jazz is what's called a 2-5-1-6. Okay. So we're going to be playing, and remember, most music theory falls back to the major scale. And the major scale is a scale that everybody knows, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I play it on guitar in whatever key, only the key of D. Alright, no matter where I play it. I play it all over the neck in the key of D. Right? Those are the major scale is what everything is compared back to. You have to have one thing as the standard. If this sounds like you don't know what I'm talking about, or you're not sure of some of these, the things I'm saying as far as the theory end of it, then visit some of our lessons on theory in the theory section of the website, and chord construction and basic theory, and that'll get you up to speed, right? Because remember, guitar is like that staircase, man. You got to traverse that first step to get to the second. You got to traverse that to get to the third. Traverse that to go to the fourth and the fifth, and so on. You can't just go from step 3 to step 8. You know what I mean? Without that whole thing, and that's what happens. Believe it or not, a lot of times some students in their playing, I find that they have holes in their playing where they might know a lot of stuff, but they don't know how to tie it together. And that's why we try to make these lessons as comprehensive as possible here at Next Level Guitar. So you can have this good flow and understand why things work, and you'll always be a better musician that way. And I hope you're enjoying things so far. So anywho, all right, here's a progression that we're going to be playing. It's going to be in the key of the key of C. All right, we'll be in the key of C, and we're going to play a D minor chord. Actually, we'll play a D minor 7th. Okay, which is actually the 2 chord in the key of C, 2 minor, and then we're going to go to a G7. Okay, and then we're going to go to a C major 7th. Okay, and then we're going to go to an A7, A dominant 7th, flat 7th. Okay. Now, if you don't know these chords, go to our video chord library and pull them up, and you can check them out. I'm playing all bar chords here, but I'm going to show you a couple different ways to play this. Now, this 2-5-1-6 is probably the most common, or one of the most building blocks as far as for jazz, right? I just want to get you playing different things and having fun. So, and we're gonna pick certain lead things to play over this, and get you going on how to use this and apply it, because it's so important. That's what we do here too. Is for everything you learn, you have to apply it. Always apply what you're learning, whether it's your practice, or you're practicing with songs, or your practice routines, whatever. Always apply it. If you don't apply what you're learning on an instrument, you're going to forget it. Okay? So, first get the chords down. D minor 7, G7. That's the 5 chord. 7. That's now that 7 is a dominant 7th, flatted 7th, root 3rd, 5th, flat 7. And then you go to your 1 chord, which is the C major 7, and then A7. Now in jazz a lot, you know, the 1 chord is often not played first. You're probably aware of that in a lot of music, when you're talking about keys, like in rock and pop and alternative and metal. A lot of times, not always, a lot of times the first chord you hear, or in the string, the 1 chord, a lot of times that's the key of the song. It's in, you know, A minor to D major, you know, if you're playing like a... That's in the key of A minor, all right? A lot of times in music, the first chord you hear, that's the key, but not always. But a lot of times is. The big thing about key is, you know, what sounds like home base? What does everything want to keep returning to? Well, where does everything resolve to? Resolution, the concept of resolution. Again, another big thing we're going to be talking a lot about here is resolution. Because you know all these tricks and you know all these terms, you could write killer songs because you understand the concepts of which chords go together and why and what resolves to each chord. It depends on the fifths or the thirds and how they work together. And if you understand that, you can just bang, go to them quick instead of hunting and pecking all day for them, right? If you know the rules. Remember, it's always nice to know the rules first, then you can break them. You know what I mean? So in this particular instance, and they do this a lot in jazz, which is one of the things I like about it, is they don't play the one chord first in a lot of instances. In this instance, we're playing the one chord third. But everything kind of that shows that strong pull to the C, because it's in the key of C major. Okay, so when you're trying to figure out keys, a couple things that I find is you always listen. Again, develop your ear. That's what I always keep telling everybody here. Best thing you can do as a musician, develop your ear. Listen for what sounds like home. Okay? And the other thing is, a lot of times look for the 4 and the 5 chords. I find that with myself. That sometimes, if I'm not sure about a key, that will usually put me toward the key. Like if it's a progression like a D to an E. Listen how this will resolve to the A. See how that resolves? That A sounds like home, right? Because in A, the 4 chord is D and the 5th chord is E. See how that? It's unmistakable, you know? So I'll show you some tricks.
It sounds like home. You can also put the words there.
Sounds like home.
No, it sounds
like home. Good job, Tim Gilbert. I like that. Sounds like home.
Try it in a different key.
In a different key. Okay, that's a good point. Let's play it. Here, I'll move it up. A minor third.
Yeah, it does.
See, again, it sounds like home. C major. I was playing the F and the G. So a lot of times, it sounds like home. I like that. See all this we're learning here at next level guitar? So listen for what sounds like home bass. And look for that 4 and 5 chord. Okay? And in intricate music, you know, you could have key changes and all kinds of things. And go to the music theory section of the website, and we're going to be loading up more and more lessons on theory. So let's just get you playing a basic progression, okay? So D minor 7, G7, C major 7th, A 7th. You probably heard this a lot. And play it with we'll do it with a slow strum to kind of get you going. Maybe like a I'll tell you the strumming I'm doing. I'll show you a couple different ways of playing this. You might have heard it a lot, play like this. Right? It's very, very common. Doing it kind of fast. You're not going to be able to play it that fast at first, but here's a nice little way of playing that. I played that. That's more like a smooth jazz or kind of like a rock influence kind of strum. I'm going to play more jazzy in a minute. This one I'm just kind of doing down, chuck, up, down, chuck, up, down, down, up, down. 8 notes. Throwing a chuck in there. But it has a jazzy kind of feel because of the chords. But let me show you. So you could play that at first with just that simple down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Just get used to those chords, right? Let me show you it a different way. I would probably maybe play it a little bit more like this. And I'm going to show you some other progressions in future modules. Jazz progressions, we'll get into some more complex ones and different strumming and different ways of playing chords. But first learn run, then learn fly, Danielson.